Some other news stories for you now. And Ocado has raised £575 million from investors via a sale of new shares. Well, the online grocery retailer, which tapped investors for £1 billion in 2020, said the money raised would fund its current growth plans. The company announced the share sale after the market closed last night and said this morning it had raised the sum it had been seeking. Well, the new shares were sold at £7.95p each. That compared with last night's closing price of £8.77.5p, with shares of Ocado, which have more than halved during the last year, fell by 5% this morning. The cardboard packaging group DS Smith said today it expects to carry on growing sales this year despite what it described as considerable uncertainty about the economic environment. Well, the company, which has benefited from the boom in e-commerce and whose customers include Amazon, said it had seen record growth in demand for corrugated boxes during the last year as it reported a 23% rise in adjusted operating profits to £616 million for the year to the end of April. It said that so far it had been able to cope with significant increases in raw material, energy and transportation costs. And EasyJet said this morning that it had agreed to buy 56 new A320neo aircraft from Airbus. The aircraft will be delivered between the end of 2026 and 2029. Well, EasyJet said that the new aircraft would each have 186 seats, making them bigger than the old Airbus 319 and A320 planes that they will replace. It said they would also be quieter and more environmentally friendly than its existing fleet. Well, at the current list price, the value of the order would be $6.5 billion, but EasyJet said it had been given what it described as a very significant discount. Now, Russia's war on Ukraine, inflation at its highest level for a generation and the looming threat of recession have all generated a thirst for news and analysis of the kind delivered by The Economist. The influential publication's parent company this morning reported an 11% rise in operating profits to £46.4 million for the year to the end of March. That is its best performance since 2016. Well, with me now is the Chief Executive of The Economist Group, Lara Borrow. Lara, welcome to you. I mean, whilst everyone knows The Economist, you actually have three divisions across the group: Economist Education, Economist Impact and Intelligence being the other two. Have they all contributed to profits?
Yes, good morning, Ian. Yes, we've had, in fact, a record year at Economist Impact, which is our newest business. It drove 39% growth this year. Economist Intelligence, which is our data and forecasting business, grew too. The Starr business there is a business called ClearState, a medtech business that grew 33%. And our fledgling education business, which launched its fourth course this year, and we're very excited about its prospects. So all in all, a sort of very good revenue growth year as well as a profit year.
And looking at the breakdown between revenues, advertising revenue grew by more than subscriptions on a percentage basis. Is that just a bounce back from COVID, or is there more to it than that?
Yes, well, I think you're referring to the fact that we're now roughly 60% subscription and 40% what we call other. In that, we do have advertising, and that did grow, but advertising today represents less than £15 million of revenue combined. Economist Impact, which is when we now house that revenue, grew its policy research side significantly. So Economist Impact grew disproportionately versus subscriptions.
I'm interested at what you say there, the policy research side. What kind of areas are seeing most demand?
So we are working mainly around three growth areas: sustainability, of course, not just climate change, but sustainability in the broader sense. We are doing quite a lot of work with companies, NGOs and governments on what does new globalization mean? What does that look like? And of course, that was the cover of our issue this week. And we are doing a significant amount of work in healthcare. So it started last year around vaccine equality, for instance, and we continue to do that, vaccine preparedness, etc.
And what about demand over the coming 12 months at Economist Impact? Is it going to be that sort of direction again?
Yes, look, it continues to do very well because we are no longer an advertising-based business. Most of the work we do at Impact starts with a piece of bespoke research, which I think is a differentiated proposition. We are continuing to see clients want to do significant projects in around those areas that I just described. Of course, we too are seeing a slowdown in what I would call more traditional advertising sales, and I think that is consistent with what else all the things that you must be hearing in the market.
Absolutely. What does a typical customer of Economist Impact look like?
Well, as I said, they're either large corporates, NGOs, or governments in certain senses. So everybody from the Nippon Foundation in Japan that works with us on a big projects on ocean health, for instance, Google, large corporate, governments, and healthcare organizations, international organizations. The UN, for instance, do a lot of work with us on the progress on SDGs. So the theme there really is organizations that are trying to drive and influence change on a global scale.
Now, you say in the statement today, 2/3 of new subscribers are digital only and 55% of group revenue is now digital. Does that mean the print publication has to take a bit of a back seat?
You asked me that last time, Ian. So yes, look, we are all increasingly digital. When I joined here, 47% of new subscribers in that year were choosing digital only. And today, as you just said, 66% of our new subscribers are choosing digital. I think that trend will continue, but that does not mean that we intend anytime soon to stop the print. We have very loyal readers who love to read in print. And as long as we continue to monetize that, we will continue to serve them through print.
That's very good. I'm just checking to reassure those people, Lara. Good to see you this morning. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you, Ian. Well, now, the recent high-profile collapse of Bulb and some other household energy suppliers raised questions around the overall health of the sector. But those who survived last year's string of collapses appear to be faring better. Well, Telecom Plus is the owner of Utility Warehouse, the UK's 9th largest energy supplier, which offers customers the chance to bundle all of their household bills into one statement. Well, today it reported a pre-tax profit of £47.2 million for the year to the end of March. That was up 8.7% on the previous 12 months. Joining me now is Andrew Lindsay, the Chief Executive of Telecom Plus. Andrew, welcome to you. Before we get on to the results, I just want to get your reaction to something that we heard yesterday from the regulator Ofgem, who wants to make sure that energy suppliers are not using consumer credit balance to fund their daily operations. Presumably you're all in favour of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that that energy suppliers should be using their consumers. It's been in the media as using consumer credit as a credit card with zero interest. That's not appropriate behaviour for an energy business. And in fact, we would actually urge Ofgem to go even further and to prevent suppliers from billing customers in advance rather than in arrears. We've never billed any of our customers in advance, and we don't think that's an appropriate practice either. But there have been unsustainable businesses that have failed. Ofgem is doing a very good job of closing the door and making sure that those unsustainable practices aren't carrying on any longer.
So looking at today's numbers, how do sales and profits break down between the various strands of utility service provided?
So with energy prices rising, energy is a larger proportion of our business than normal. So just under 80% of our revenues come from energy, and the remainders come from telecoms and broadband and insurance, because we're not really just an energy business. We're a multi-utility. We're the only company in the country that acts as a one-stop shop for all of your utilities. Telecoms is just as important, broadband and insurance and mobile as the energy business to our business as a whole.
Absolutely. Does that not make your business more complex to run from a point of view of the fact that you're having to deal with lots of different regulators?
Absolutely. What we exist to do is to make things simple for our customers, and we shoulder the burden of the complexity. So it's a complicated business to run. What we aim to deliver to customers is the simplicity of a single bill for all of your services, fantastic service. These are not industries that are known for good service, and we aim to outperform there. And most importantly, right at the moment, is savings. By being a multi-service provider, we are more cost efficient than any of our energy or broadband or mobile competitors, and we can pass the savings that we make onto our consumers in terms of lower bills.
And typically, how many services would the average customer take from you?
So around 2/3 of the customers that we are signing up through our partners at the moment are taking 2 or more of those 4 services. Obviously, we want customers to take as many as they can, because that's the way they get hold of the greatest savings that we can offer them. But on average, I think that the average is exactly 1.81 services per customer.
As a challenger to what used to be called the Big Six, I mean, obviously that doesn't really exist anymore in the shape or form that we knew it. How unhelpful were the collapses of companies like Bulb and some of those others? Did that drive customers back towards the establishment, if you like?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a huge wave of sort of reconsolidation through the supplier of last resort process, which is the way in which the Ofgem deals with all these small companies that have gone bust. They've almost all gone back to the large incumbent suppliers. So we've gone from, at its peak, 75 suppliers in the marketplace a few years ago, now down to below 20. There has definitely been a wave of consolidation, but I think those energy suppliers are more interested now in holding on to those customers they've got rather than acquiring new customers. And there's very little to choose between any of those energy-only suppliers. They're all selling energy at the price cap, and we alone are able, through this innovative multi-service model, to actually sustainably undercut them.
All right, Andrew, we have to leave it there. Always a busy day, results day, so we do appreciate you sparing us the time today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, we often hear about the UK's booming technology sector, but some investors are not thinking purely about the UK in this regard. Increasingly, there's talk of a new Palo Alto, a European equivalent to Silicon Valley, which takes in locations within a 4-hour train journey of London, including Paris, Amsterdam, Leeds, Manchester and Newcastle. Well, Phoenix Court Group, the venture capital investor, has today announced a $500 million fund to invest in high-growth businesses in the zone. Joining me now is Julia Hawkins of Phoenix Court Group. Julia, welcome to you. Is this idea of a new Palo Alto really valid? I mean, I always get the impression that businesses from London, Paris and Amsterdam are competing with each other.
No, not at all. And good morning, Ian. So I guess if we think about New Palo Alto, the way that we think about it is a 4-hour train ride from where we're based here in King's Cross. And that really covers all of the UK. It takes us through to France, to Paris, Amsterdam, Brussels. And we see that it also covers really great technology, healthcare, life science triangles of not only of Oxbridge, but also the Northern Triangle, as well as into Louvain in Belgium. So I think there's tremendous both collaboration between these areas and great economies to build companies. It's a region that includes 40 million people. It has 110 billion in corporate IT spend, and also a home of 7 out of the world's top 30 universities.
Now, tech valuations, both public and private, have been battered lately. Is this really an appropriate time to be launching a new fund? I think it's a great question. It's true that we're coming out of a very strong funding period in which there was a lot of capital available for startups looking to raise. I mean, if just in our portfolio, our companies raised $9.2 billion in the last 12 months. However, we sent a memo to our founders back in February, which was obviously before the Ukraine war, before the big sell-off in the public markets, which was really telling them that we should plan to have cash in the bank until Christmas 2023. And we highlighted the valuations would come under pressure and that it would take longer to raise rounds. I actually think that it took some of the Silicon Valley-based funds to share their announcements, so Sequoia, YC, in order for some founders to start to internalize that they needed to take action. And so I do think that we're in for a rocky 18 to 24 months. Having said that, we still believe that there are great companies that will be built during this time, and those companies need capital. Valuations will be much more reasonable than they have been over the last 18 months. And if you take a 10-year view, or at least a 10-year view on the opportunity, given the access and engagement that we have, and I believe we have a unique perspective on underlying fundamentals, having this new 500 million of new capital in our first close enables us to support founders building great companies. Now, Julia, your group has traditionally invested in early stage tech companies. You're specifically targeting later stage ones this time around. Why the change?
Well, I mean, really, it's a natural evolution. Last year, we had 8 IPOs. We have over 52 futurecorns as well as unicorns in our portfolio. And there were 7 new local globe unicorns created last year, including Motorway, TravelPerk, and Zigo, to name a few. And Local Globe, which is our pre-seed and seed fund, will always remain the core of what we do. 80% of our investment team focuses on this. And however, Deal Room recently published some data that showed that we're third globally in terms of investing at unicorns at seed stage with 18. Only 2 other funds have invested in more unicorns at seed, and those are Excel with 24 and Sequoia with 20. And arguably, they've been focusing on geographies that have more unicorns in them. And so we've been able to do that, focusing on Europe, which up until now has been classified as frontier. And I think it's because of this relationship that we have with founders from seed stage, and that we're able to see the ones that are able to progress to breakout stage and all the way through to IPO, that these new funds really just enable us to support founders on this journey.
All right, Julia, we have to leave it there. Good to talk to you this morning. Thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Still to come here on Ian King Live, we'll have a look at how global markets are doing this Tuesday morning. Don't go away.
I'm Tom Cheshire, and I'm Sky's Asia correspondent, based here in Beijing. We help you understand the world with us.
The plan is to take the political temperature midweek. So we'll be discussing the biggest stories of the week so far, talking about what's still to come, having a look at Prime Minister's questions, of course, and getting a reaction from politicians, plus our very own viewers. And we'll have analysis from my Sky News colleagues.
The Take with Sophie Rich on Sky News.
They have breached the road. There is a lot of gas being fired all around us. It is an absolute carnival kind of atmosphere out here for Prime Minister Modi's decisive victory. These students are defying the prohibitory order, and now they're going to be arrested. We aim to be the best and most trusted place for news. The roads have been inundated. The only way out is to get people by boat. This on any given day would have been bustling with people, but today it's absolutely deserted. I'm Neville Lazarus, and I'm Sky's reporter based in Delhi.
Well, with Wall Street closed yesterday for a public holiday, equity markets in the Asia-Pacific region had a largely positive session overnight, with Tokyo, Hong Kong, Mumbai and Sydney up by 1% or more apiece. Shanghai finished down by 0.25%. Well, in Europe, markets have largely traded to the upside so far this morning. Here's the current picture. All of the main indices in positive territory. The IBEX in Madrid, a bit of a bat marker there. Not sure why that should be the case. Here in London, the FTSE 100 is also in positive territory, currently up nearly 0.75% higher in a broad-based rally. Among the leading blue-chip gainers this morning is Melrose, the engineering group. That, of course, recently announced a big share buyback programme. While DS Smith, mentioned them a little earlier in the programme, the share's up by 1.25% on the back of its results. Outside the FTSE, the Imperial Leather soap manufacturer, PZ Cussons, the shares are up nearly 4.5% there after getting a push from one of the brokers, while, as you can see, Telecom Plus, with whom we were speaking a little earlier in the programme, they're up 1.75% right now on the back of their results. On the foreign exchange markets, well, the pound has rallied against the US dollar on the back of comments from one of the Bank of England's rate setters. More on that later in the programme. Currently, it's off by 1/6% right now against the euro. As for the oil price, well, that has carried on clawing back ground that was lost last week as the market continues to focus on tightness in supplies. A barrel of Brent crude will currently set you back $115.83 a barrel. That is up just shy of 1.5%. Well, joining me now is James Hughes. He's Chief Market Analyst at Scope Markets. James, welcome to you.
All ladies, you are invited to our premier 13th annual Women's Conference, Lady to Lady Global Conference 2022. Theme, Joy. Date, Saturday, 30th July. Doors open at 11 a.m. Venue, Fairview's Concert Halls, the Phoenix Theater, Croydon, CR91DG3, United Kingdom. Register on www.ladytoladyglobal.org. Music Minister, CLC Healing Voices. Simeon. Queenie. Ada Ahi. Congratulations, I have seen the glory of God. Conference speakers, Reverend Betty King, Pastor Marjorie, Pastor Sandra.
I did come to Lady, and from that day onwards, my life has never been the same.
See you there.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
And the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do that?
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness of darkness. So what did that?
Myself and the world in adjust. And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Turn it on.
Turn it up.
It's your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. We don't go nowhere. UK, London. We call them London for home. We're here. We call them London. And I said, you know, just have fun and stay blessed.
Hi there. This is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile, your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Clap your hands like that.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning Show.
Everybody say. You just say ooh, okay. It's a spiritual love affair. Say. I can see your Bible. Just get your groove on. Spiritual.
Well, it's a spiritual love affair. Oh my goodness. Let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We salute you all and we welcome you to the Tuesday edition of the morning show. Today is the 21st day of June, the year 2022, and the time now is 10:40 exactly from the House of London. It is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. And I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
Archie.
But I'm saying good morning to my colleague, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yummy morning to you and to the family as well. I hope everyone is doing very, very well this morning.
Everybody sing.
And let me say again, good morning to Mr. Frank Davis working behind the scenes. Mr. Francis Gaye working behind the scenes as well, with the production. Good morning to you all. And let me also say good morning to Mr. Kofi Ali, Brother Felix all the way in Aberdeen, and to all our listeners across the globe.
And I will daily lift my hands. I will always sing up when your love keeps down.
Well, something from Akasa Brimpong. I could sing of the love, your love forever. It's talking about the love of God for you and I. And the love that you have for us, that each day we come on air and you are ready to listen to us. Let me say good morning to Anthony Adedeji. Amaya Gergene. Good morning to you. Tosino all the way in Moscow. I salute you, Tosino. Let me say morning to Olajire Olamila Ken. Maduke Chuku Emeka. Ojekunle Ifashi World Halani. Adebisi Gaffa. Lotto Kayade, good morning. Hamid Salami. And Ademola. Okay, Ademola Jaya Oza. Thank you very much for you sharing there. Massive good morning to you. I hope I didn't massacre the name. You know, at times, yeah, but bear with me. And I know you love me to bits, and I love you to bits as well. So, welcome back to the program once again.
It's foolishness, I know. And when the world has seen the light, they will dance.
Let me say good morning to Levi Nati. Levi, I hope you are doing very well as well. And Odua T-Day, yes. It's an Echo Eto. Good morning to you there. Okay, continue to share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Now, if it's the first time of tuning in on a Tuesday morning to listen to us, for those of you who are first timers, let me bring you how the program is going to be going today. We're going to be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing out. My apologies, I'm hopping on too much. Let me just start from here. I'm going to bring you the comfort of the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. And then we're going from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. Then exactly at 11 o'clock, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki coming your way. Wait updates from Nigeria, as I did say earlier on. Then we'll continue from there To look at some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, I say it all the time, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, if it's making the headlines, why not? We're going to touch on it. And I will continue from there till 12 o'clock when the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. Then we'll continue from there. Exactly at 1 o'clock, the curtains are brought down for the end of the program. But well, lots of issues going on across the globe, or wherever you are. Once again, welcome to the show, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And let me say good morning to Sister BB as well. BB Clement, she'll be coming your way this afternoon exactly at 1:30 with BB Means Business. She's got some wonderful guests joining her today, and I don't want you to miss out on it. It's every Tuesday, 1:30 p.m. and a repeat broadcast on Thursdays at 6 p.m. But continue to share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. Okay, let's move on to the quote for the day. It says, success is not a beauty contest where you have to outwit your competitor with prowess. I'm finished with the quote. That's so true. You might see your success today, I might see mine tomorrow, or I might have seen mine and I'm running or running or flying on it, but yours is coming. So don't give up, don't give in, but don't use foul tactics to outwit somebody to do so. Okay, now let's crack on. Let's move on straight to the weather front. Yeah, for those of you in London and the southeast of England, this is how the weather is going to be for you today. A bit milder than it's been of late. So I say since Saturday, let me put it that way. But it's going to be a fine afternoon for all, with dry conditions, plenty of sunshine, and only a few light patches of cloud developing locally at times. A mild afternoon with light breezes expected as well. An overnight period will see dry conditions and more clear skies through all. Mist and fog might develop locally towards dawn as well. Now when it comes to the temperatures, temperature is going to be 24 degrees, the lower is going to be 12 degrees. UV level is going to be very high. Pollen level is going to be very high, and the pollution is going to be low. Sunset is going to be 21, and sunrise for tomorrow morning 04:43 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you today, Tuesday, the 21st day of June. And let me say happy birthday to each and every one of you celebrating your birthdays today. Once again, welcome on board. As I will say all the time, if you are sitting, sit very comfortably. You are standing, hold on to something, but get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate, and let's take this journey, not a journey to the unknown, but this time a journey to the known, where I'm going to make sure that I bring you everything from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. If it's making the headlines, why not? We're going to touch on it. But let's take a quick break and I'll bring you a travel update. There's a lot of chaos happening here in the UK today, and it's going to happen on Thursday and Saturday, unless government there is a bit of a truce that will be called. But then,
hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check it out. Keep your eyes on the road. Keep your eyes on the road.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I will keep you navigated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio Travel Update. That comes to you every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:48. Now, what is the travels like this morning? Let me say good morning to Charity Ivy. Yes, my sister. Yes, working time. Okay, so let's crack on. Let's crack on straight to the travel this morning. As I said earlier on, there's going to be a lot of chaos on the travels today here in the UK. So those of you using the underground this morning, Bakerloo, Circle, Hammersmith and City, Jubilee, Metropolitan Line, Piccadilly Line are all suspended. Central District, yes, they are partly suspended. London Overground suspended, severe delays and partly suspension. Part suspension there as well. Lot of suspension. So I wanted to check before you leave. But let's move on straight to the roads and see, because of the strikes, definitely people have to be using their vehicles. Those of you who want to go to town or go to the office or have an appointment somewhere else. But I can tell you that A12, A23, A24, A4, A41, Central London Red Route, South Circular, A205 have all got closures there. If you can avoid North Circular, A406, do your best to do so, because there is serious delays on that route. Okay, now let's move on straight to the river bus this morning. Well, the river bus, apart from the Woolwich Ferry, that's still got special service. All the others have got good service. And then moving on to the National Rail, the final segment of the travel update. Avanti West Coast, C2C, Chiltern Railways, Cross Country, East Midland Railways, First Hull Trains, First Trans, Pennine Express, Gatwick Express, Great Grand Central, Great Northern, Great Western Railway, Great Anglia, Heathrow Express, London North Eastern Railway, Mersey Rail, Northern Rail, Scott Rail, Southwestern Railway, Southern, Southeastern, Thames Link, Transport for Wales, Island Line, and West Midland Trains. Have all got special service, apart from Island Line and West Midland Trains that have got good service. So if you want to travel and you are on these two, then make sure enjoy your ride. But all the others have got special service, so please check before you leave. We'll be bringing you more updates on that as the days unfold, because we're going to be having this going on for the next few days intermittently. That's we're going to have another one on Thursday and Saturday, unless a truce is called. So once again, let me say thank you very much for tuning in to listen to us. Enjoy your comment for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now exactly to 10:53. So we have to just crack on because we are going for global trotting. As I say all the time, this is making the headlines from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. Why not? We're gonna touch on it. You want to share with us what is happening in your area? Feel free to do so. But at 11 o'clock when we join Mr. Olayomi Koiki, this is what we're going to be looking at. The CJN, that is the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Tanko, has taken his wife and children abroad for a workshop. However, they are saying they are blocking us from overseas training, Supreme Court justices are saying. You know, some of them live on a different planet, others live on another planet as well. Okay, amid record low production, Nigeria's oil rigs count remains unchanged in May. And then the World Bank, in its latest report on Nigeria development update, argued that the country's protectionist trade policy is counterproductive. So the president saying that, well, let's ban the importation of rice into the country. Is it counterproductive? Well, we'll be looking onto that and more into that story as well. But stay tuned, don't you go away. Well, when it comes to other parts of the world as well, in Kenya, 2022 elections to have fewest presidential candidates since 1992 after Reuben Kigami, Jimmy Wajingi were dropped. Only 4 presidential hopefuls passed the test out of 18 aspirants shortlisted, down from the 54 who had expressed interest in the presidency. And well, should that be the new plot? So that, I mean, lots of people who want to fight, you see that they have that, like Nigeria's election going to take place next year. Oh my goodness! If you look at the various parties and independent candidates, lots of them. Should we just hand it down, or just hewn it down, or cut it, or slim it to the various norms? Saying have about 3 or 4 of them. Well, let's see about that. We'll bring you more on that front. I no longer talk to Okufuado, Boache Jacko says. That is some story making the rounds in Ghana as well. Alleged coup trial truncated after accused persons was rushed to hospital. So what is happening there? Well, we'll be bringing you more on those stories in the next few moments. The suspended jihadists killed more than 130 civilians in Mali, and it's quite a worrying one. But the military took over there because they think that they were of the view that, look, we're going to be able to fight the insurgency and all that. But look at it, well, 130 civilians. Are they putting their acts together? And all the ultimatum and that ECOWAS has given to them, are they hearkening to it at all? And are their mission possible or impossible? Well, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's move on to some other stories as well, making the rounds in other parts of the world. Macron to meet rival parties after losing majority. Well, the only way is having a compromise. So what is it going to be for him? The woman who could append U.S. abortion rights, Lane Fitch, says she wants to empower women. Her next step is to repeal Roe versus Wade. So we'll be looking at that story closely. I'm all for protection or protecting the unborn. I'm all for that. But when we advocate for that, and then when it comes to a point where people have been birthed and they are going around their schools, and then we cannot protect them, and therefore we have some people, because of gun laws, going around shooting at people, killing them, then what have we actually done? Okay, I don't know your take on that, but well, I would love to know your take on that. Russian journalist Nobel medal sells for $103.5 million. Indian floods destroy millions of homes and dreams. Unprecedented rainfall and flooding have left behind a trail of death and destruction in Assam. It's All Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It is Starr Radio UK. Now in the UK as well, rail strike disrupts journeys for millions. The union leading the biggest rail strike in 30 years apologizes for inconvenience, but says members need guarantees on jobs and pay. And the unions are calling for talks with ministers branded a stand. It is the job of employers to meet unions, Transport Secretary Grant Sharp says. Well, what is going to happen there? What impact is that going to make? Now we have the government having a thing that they're going to be bringing agents, workers to cover for this transport strike that is taking, the rail strike that is taking place, so that subsequently they will hold the country to ransom. So what do you think is going to be happening there? Well, this and a lot more I'm going to be looking at in the next few moments. But it's All Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But Labour is calling for a vote on appointing new ethics chief. And number 10 spoke to Times before Prime Minister's wife's story dropped. And what was the story? That the Prime Minister at the time when he was the Foreign Secretary gave the current wife now, a position. So what do you think about that? We'll be looking into all those stories. Nepotism. All right then. Well, if she deserved the meritocracy, if that was what was working, then that's a good one there. Okay, so we're going to take a break, and I want you to enjoy some music, and then after that, I'll be coming away with the rest of the program. We'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining us in the next few minutes. But this time around, from Nana Manuel, says, "You are great." What's up? So it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 3 minutes past the top of the hour. One more time. And if you're listening to us, as I said earlier on, this afternoon, exactly at 1:30, BB Clement will be coming your way with BB Means Business. And she will be having a few guests on her show. She'll be having Delana and Mark Dalgetti. And the other guest is going to be no other one than Sally Bambara. Oh, doing something with networking. You want to be on it? The networking group as a business growth tool. So if you're listening to us from wherever across the globe, you want to know how you can use networking to grow your business, now you have to be on this program this afternoon. It comes your way every Tuesday from 1:30. And it's a repeat broadcast on Thursdays at 18 hours UK time. Alright then, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining us in the next few moments. But whilst we wait for him, let me say this, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Of course, it is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me say good morning to Sheila Ankra as well. Sheila Ankra, wherever you are listening to us from, good morning to you. And once again to my lovely sister, Charity, Pastor Mrs. Charity Ayevi. And to the family there, all of you in Dansuman as well. I salute you and I welcome you to the show as well. But wherever you are, how far you are, it doesn't matter because we are reaching you. Okay, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's now 6 minutes past the top of the hour, and that means that I've got the one and only, and still the reigning champion. Someone say, is he a boxer? No, he's still a fighter. They call him the White Lion. No other person but Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who has joined in this morning. And let me go to him straight in our North London studios and say, Yomi, good morning to you.
Well, it is a very good morning back to you in the studio, Mr. Archie, and I hope the line is much better because we've been able to slightly upgrade the system here in the studio in terms of the connectivity, and we hope that should be much better from what we've been experiencing in the last couple of months. I say good morning to you, and let's welcome all our listeners once again to Starr Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and 6 minutes past the hour, we're going to be giving you all the headlines, the update coming out of Nigeria as usual this morning, and I'll slightly come back again to you in the studio.
Yes, how are you doing, sir, and how is the family?
Well, the family are doing very well. The little one is literally downstairs, getting ready for school, which is something that we always talked about when you look at the ASU strike, and then you want to compare, most of the diaspora children here in UK, whether from Ghana, Uganda, the kind of facilities that they have as compared to so many African children that are probably out of school. As we speak today, the family are doing very well, but like I said, more than 13 million Nigerian students are currently out of school, and also the university ASU strike doesn't seem to be going nowhere because there's still a loggerhead between the federal government and ASU itself.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. It comes your way every weekday from 11 o'clock, and then come Wednesdays, 18 hours UK time. Let me put it that way. We're bringing you Niger Voices, and I tell you, that's a platform where if you missed out during the course of the week in sharing whatever you want to share or saying whatever you want to say, that's a platform or a program that you don't want to miss at all. If you have missed it in the past, you are being advised that this time around, don't miss it. Definitely to be coming your way tomorrow. But now it is time for us to look at some of the stories making the rounds from Nigeria. But Yomi, before we move on that one, now how has the travels been in North London? How has it been so far?
Well, it's been, I've not literally been out this morning, but I will be within the next half an hour when I will be dropping the little one, on the school run. But as we know, when it comes to, traveling here in UK, especially when they're on strike, it does have a big impact on the highway and also a big impact on the transportation. I've been following, Sharp Grant. I think, they're saying there might be, some changes in the future to come. We'll have to wait and see. But, if you, while we traveled to Manchester over the weekend, the road network, about 2 million vehicles drive past on a daily basis. And already, there were information on the billboard, which is again, what we expect if a country like Africa is working. Information is very, very important. So maybe somebody that was planning to come to London over the, during the week, and then they do not want them to get stuck in when there's a, the strike. So already the information, I was able to pick those information right on the motorway, on Saturday, on our way going, advising motorists that there will be a strike in London, and that also shows how powerful information is.
Well, how powerful information is. Avatar Moshi, good morning all, welcome. White Lion, Yoruba Nation now is the only solution to save lives and heritage. We say good morning to you. Moses Alanu, good morning to you. Okay, Frank, Moses Alanu says morning to you. Frank is working behind the scenes. And then Levi Nati, as I said, good morning to you all. And as many of you who have joined us on the YouTube channel and those of you on the Facebook as well, we say thank you very, very much. It is Star Radio UK. Now, let's move on to the stories making the rounds in Nigeria. Interestingly, that's the Chief Justice of Nigeria decided to travel out of the country. Now, there isn't anything wrong with he traveling out of the country, but whilst there is a rule that is put in place that, look, the justices, you cannot travel out of the country, that he decided to take with him his family on the trip or a workshop that is going outside the country, and the justices are up in arms. Well, are we going to see a strike by the justices?
Well, yes, that you're quite right. I was looking at that headline. We've seen what we can call a very systematic in Nigeria, where one rules for one person and the other rules for others. Yes, you're quite right. The Chief Justice of Nigeria takes the wife, children abroad for what we can call workshop. We do know that some areas, some federal parastatals do go for what they call workshop or training, but if only particular set of people is allowed, then what about the rest of it? So this headline says Chief Justice of Nigeria Tanko takes his wife, children abroad for workshops, but blocks us from overseas training, according to the Supreme Court Justice. And this was put together in a letter by Mohammed earlier this month, that the Chief Justice demanded to know what had happened to their legitimate entitlement under Mr. Tanko. The Justice of the Apex Court in Nigeria said their annual foreign training meant to enhance capacity building for the country's judicial process had been blocked by Muhammad Tanko, that he himself is now also enjoying.
But Yomi, interestingly, if he is, paying for the trip, whatever the cost is, he is the one bearing it, and therefore it's not the judiciary that is paying for it or the state paying for it. What is wrong with it? I'm deciding to travel and I want to go with my family because I can afford to pay for them. There isn't anything wrong with that, is it?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that if you're just the same way, the president have been traveling to UK since 2015 when he came on board for medical treatment, and the argument has always been this is where he has received most of his medical treatment before he became the president. But we do know that when he travels, he's not using his own personal finance because he's traveling on the taxpayers' money, and that means that the presidential jet will be traveling with him, some envoys will be traveling with him. So that is no longer while he was still on his own without being the president. Yeah, you're quite right. And again, in the past, the justices were nominated to attend 2 foreign workshops or training per annum with accompanying persons for reasons of age. Since your lordship assumption of office, Justice only attend 2 workshops in Dubai and Zanzibar. They were not accorded the privilege of traveling with accompanying person, as well as the practice stated in the memo. So it looks like most of the reason why these justices are not happy is because Chief Justice himself is taking the advantage. It's not his personal money, it is taxpayers' money, but the rest of the the judges are not having the same opportunity, and that is why they have complained. The justice added that your lordship totally ignored this demand, but yet is traveling with his wife, his children, and even his personal staff. We demand to know what has become our training fund. Have they been diverted, or is it a plain denial?
Well, we hope to see. I mean, when the Chief Justice returns, or has he returned from that trip at all? Do you know whether he's returned from that trip?
Well, I'm not sure whether he has returned or whether the ones that he has done. But again, we do know that this headline is coming out from Nigeria today, being the 21st of June 2022.
Okay, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, some other stories, because we know we have to speed up our updates. Yeah, a monthly breakdown showed that in December 2021, no fewer than 342 innocent Nigerians were killed, while 397 were abducted. Those killed in the month included 45 farmers. I mean, giving you a breakdown, and also 34 women were abducted in Zamfara. So it talks about the insecurity issue that is going on in Nigeria. Where the government is saying, or some people in the government are saying that, look, if anybody pays for ransom for their family or loved ones to be released, they are going to be prosecuted. Meanwhile, we don't see government doing its best to make sure that people are protected, citizens are protected. And then people are asking themselves, do we arm ourselves now? Because if you don't want me to pay ransom, I might as well be armed so that I can defend myself. And in that case, there will be no need. It's like having your own house and they say, I'm not going to allow thieves to come and rob me. Now, what is government saying so far about the statistics that has been given?
Well, you're quite right. When it comes to the amount of innocent Nigerians that have been killed since 2015 or prior to that, it's quite a staggering amount in terms of the individuals. But the breakdown that you're discussing this morning is just on one particular location, and that means over 4,000 people, and that about 2,256. Others were all adopted across the country just between December last year and June 15, which is just some few days ago. The figures that were obtained, by the Nigerian Security Tracker, a project of the Council of Foreign Relations, an American think tank, during the period under review. The data also captured, those killed by the non-state actors such as the terrorists, the bandits, the gunmen or the armed robbers, the cultists and the security operatives. So quite a lot is also happening that we do know that a lot of individuals do not report it as well. Just less than 72 hours, there was a kidnap cases in Ogun State, and I had the opportunity to listen to a video clip yesterday where the individual had access to those that were kidnapped. And it also now seems that there is also some kind of relationship between some of these terrorists and the police officer and the police system in Nigeria, and also some kind of other security network. And if that is true, that Nigerians are being kidnapped, but rather than getting the rescue that they deserve, nobody's going after those rescue apart from the individuals that have to pay the ransom. This individual paid almost close to £1,500. The rice was also delivered, and alcohol was delivered, and cigarette was delivered as well. But like you said, in the last between December and this year, close to 4,000 Nigerians have been killed. But those are the ones that we know. But we also know that there's a lot that doesn't go into the record system as well.
Well, in a continent where we don't have proper records keeping there, of course, I know that lots of lives might have been lost without even government having a clue of what has happened. But it's not coming away from Star Radio UK. Let's touch on one other story, then I'll let you bring the others. Now, the World Bank, in its latest report on Nigeria's development update, have argued that the country's protectionist trade policy is counterproductive. We remember that the Buhari regime decided to, block the borders, shut the borders, because they didn't, especially from the western part of the country, especially they didn't want rice to come from there, and saying that if anybody imports rice into the country, they'll be prosecuted. Stopping people from bringing rice from Togo and Benin. Now, the World Bank is now saying that it's counterproductive. Now, is it that because of what is happening, the insecurity, and therefore farmers are not able to go till the land, especially the rice farmers, and is that where the World Bank is coming from?
Protectionist, an advocate of the policy of shielding a country's domestic industries from foreign competition by taxing import. For those, just to get the breakdown first, you're quite right. The World Bank report made some bold and unequivocal assertion. One, the country's trade policy since Muhammadu Buhari administration in 2015 has been remarkably moving further in a protectionist direction and yielding several unattended consequences, including high level of tariff evasion, accounting for the loss of more than $1.8 billion annually in the public revenue. This is an estimate about 0.4%. The report also asserted that the country's increased trade protectionist stance is constraining the efficiency and competitiveness of its domestic firms. We do know that most of the produce that is used in Nigeria is imported, even up to the crude oil that has to be taken out and then refined, brought back to the country. The third assertion made in the report is that import restrictions are pushing millions of Nigerians into poverty, as the secessionary trade policy can decrease overall purchasing power, in turn increase poverty. If you are not producing and you have to bring everything that you're using, it's going to have a strain on the country, when it comes to job creation, opportunities for millions of Nigerians. And that is why, as of today, over 100 million Nigerians are in the bracket of the abject poverty. The report further asserted that Nigerians' restrictive and unpredictable trade policies are increasing smuggling, which led to what the government says the reason why they have to shut down, the southwest borderline to Benin Republic for the last 2 years. We do not know the reason why they have to unlift that, but there is information that says that election is coming, and that means they are looking for the voters, for the vote from those in the southwest. While the border was shut between Nigeria and Benin Republic, the borderline was open in Castina, it was open in Kano, and there was all not just smuggling of goods, there were also smuggling of so many individuals coming into the country. And I was actually watching a video that was sent to me this morning, and if time permit, let us listen to that. About 400 unknown individuals traveling at about 3 o'clock in the morning with about 31 coastal buses that were apprehended. Let's hear what they have to tell us.
The army has arrested over 400 suspected Boko Haram members in Abia State, southeast Nigeria. They were apprehended along the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway by soldiers attached to the 144 Battalion in Okwa West local government area. The suspects, including 8 women, were traveling in 35 buses, 2 of which escaped with their occupants. Their arrest is coming after security operatives disabled an improvised explosive device planted on the premises of a church in Imo State.
So that's about 400 Boko Haram terrorists driving through in the middle of the night, and that is part of where a lot of Nigerians are concerned that if the border was closed because of the smuggling of foodstuff from Benin Republic into Nigeria, rather than closing the same border in the north, insurgency and terrorists traveling into the country has been allowed. And this video that we just played earlier, let's just finish the remaining part of it.
Some of them are between the ages of some 16 years, between 16 and 25, 30, some much less. And among them they have 6 women, between the age, 8 women, between the ages of 16 and 24. Now look at these young men, 486 able.
So 486 able men moving into where? Looking for what? Nobody knows. This is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I come back again to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, quite interesting issues going there, and I talk about the fact that now looking at these kids, I mean, I call them kids, 16 years. What do they actually know? But this is a situation where we are looking at the government putting measures in place, stopping people from, I mean, if the borders were open and people were even importing the rights in there, having high tariffs, at least people would have paid the taxes on it. But we see that that's not what is happening, and the effect, the devastating effect of whatever is happening, hitting the country itself and citizens as a whole, I mean, something. But looking at the fact that schools, universities are supposed to be in operation, however, for how many years now, how many months now, they've been, I mean, shut down. Now,
if I just take about 30 seconds off.
Okay. Listener, just bear with us whilst we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yes, he'll be with us. Just sorting something out in the background at the moment. But you look at all these stories, then you ask yourself, do we have any hope? Do we have any hope for Nigeria at all? Or, as some have been clamoring for, that the only way forward is just breaking away or breaking the country into various groupings, okay, and then that will be the way forward for us. Well, the other time I was having a chat with someone, and the person was saying that, well, when you go into a relationship, a marriage, and I was like listening to the person very critically, and it doesn't work, what do? You go your separate ways. If not, it's going to get to a point where someone might kill someone, or someone might lose their life or their sanity. So what do? If in a relationship you think that people are being abused in the relationship, they are being marginalized or being trodden upon, then what do? But some are saying that, well, you know, when it comes to nationhood, I mean, we all have to strive to make everything better for ourselves. But if it's not working, what do? It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I've got Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. So let me leave him to bring you all the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Archie. Once again, a very good afternoon, good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe. And let's take you through some of the other headlines. Just in, kidnappers have released a former Nigerian Football Federation Secretary, ex-Eagles assistant coach. Just as we say all the time, so much kidnapping going on in the country, and most time they are recorded, and most time they are not recorded. Kidnappers have released a former secretary of the Nigerian Football Federation, Alhaji Sani Toro, a former assistant coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles, Garba Yila, and one of their friends, Alhaji Issa Jah, from captivity. According to report, their friends were both kidnapped at a village around Agwanga in Nasarawa State at about 5 p.m. on Saturday after attending the wedding of the son of a former NFF president, Aminu Magari, and were kidnapped at about 7:30 p.m. A family source told the correspondent that on Sunday that the kidnappers had contacted their host, Maigara, and demanded a sum of 150 million naira before releasing them. But what we do know, however, they were said to have regained freedom at about 5 a.m. this morning. This is after spending over 60 hours in captivity. It was unclear, how much was paid, and I'm definitely sure money was paid before their release. Again, the insecurity in the country is not just spreading in this particular location; it's spreading across almost every part of the country. Also, there's going to be a strike, just as we're having it here in UK, But in the other way around in Nigeria, OAU, Obafemi Awolowo Teaching Hospital doctors have now embarked on a 2-day warning strike. According to what we know, according to the Association of the Resident Doctors at Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Ile-Ife, southwest of Nigeria, on Tuesday, embarked on a 2-day warning strike over an alleged assault on one of them by a nurse. The resident doctors said the strike will commence this morning from 8 a.m. up to tomorrow, up to Thursday rather, at exactly 8 a.m. The doctors made their decision known to the press release cited and signed by the association president, Dr. Nana Foyewole, the general secretary, Dr. Anthony, and the public relations officer, Dr. Adelaja Olasubomi. Vote buying, probe Adeleke Oyetola teams urged the EFCC. We know there's a lot of vote buying that took place, in the Ekiti election that was just gone through. As Osun State election is also coming, there's also a lot of campaign campaign, but likewise a lot of also individuals asking that the EFCC should go after those that are trying to sell votes and also those that are buying vote as well. According to what we know, the EFCC should invite Adeleke, having clearly stated an intention to commit an offense of inducement of voters, which was an electoral offense under the Nigerian law. Let's go straight to more other headline, and then I'll come back again to you in the studio. Once again, if you're just joining us, this is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bus driver kills and dumps a colleagues and corpse at the Lagos Park. Remember that there's still not justice yet for Bamishe that was killed and molested, and the body was dumped in somewhere in Lagos State after boarding that vehicle. But it doesn't seem Lagos is still getting a good one as we go into this headline. Bus driver kills, dumps colleagues and corpse at the Lagos Park. There was operation in Baga area of Lagos State yesterday after a lifeless body of a bus driver was found near a motor park. The disease, identified only as Wasiu, was alleged to have been dumped close to the entrance of the park around midnight. The late driver who plowed the Ishaga-Fagba route had a confrontation with a colleague from another park on Sunday, which resulted in a fight between them. An eyewitness who spoke said Wasiu picked up a fight with someone at the park, went to pick a bottle, but when he smashed it on the ground, the bottle piece hit the baby on a nearby alcohol cellar. The little child started bleeding, and that led to more confrontation. We hope the security will do the needful to apprehend those involved as well. I'm going to take two more. Come back again to you in the studio before we come back to look at the social media. Nigeria airline and others to lose $700 million in 2022, according to IATA. The International Air Transport Association has said the Nigerian airline and others across Africa will lose about $700 million in 2022 due to combination of the Russia-Ukraine war and the COVID-19. This was disclosed at the ongoing 78th ITA Annual General Meeting and World Air Transport Summit in Doha in Qatar. And then we take one more. Again, 86 billion given to State Health Center and others, according to the federal government. Let's start selling petrol at 180 naira per liter and above. Ignore the official rate of 165 naira per liter. We do know that there's a lot of pressure with the scarcity of the petroleum this morning and across most part in the city, Lagos, and already going into Abuja. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria on Monday asked marketers across the country to begin dispensing petrol at 180 naira per liter. That means more pressure on average Nigerians. As we do know, small-scale businesses need that to operate, whether it's a barber or a mechanic or just a small hotel. Most of them rely on diesel and petrol to run the business, and that means for every price increment, it also adds up to the members of the public. I come back to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, wonderful stories coming from Nigeria, I tell you all the time. And as we say on this platform, may Nigeria never happen to you. What do you think? But let me say good morning once again to Anthony Adedeji, Ganiu Abiodun, and Walex Salam. Walex Salam, good morning to you all, and thank you very, very much for joining us as well. Let me acknowledge those who have joined us on the YouTube as well. Prince Abimbola Osude, yes, good morning to you as well, and as many of you who have joined us there. Okay, yes, continue to stay tuned. Don't you go away. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We are pushing because we know that Mr. Olayomi Koiki has to make a rounds. Okay, now pertaining to the 2023 elections, what has been the other political parties, the smaller ones, or the Independence Party? I'm talking about someone like Sowore and all the other groups there. What are they doing so far? What do you see them doing?
Well, so far they're pushing more effort when it comes to their appearance on the social media, especially those that believe that Peter Obi should be the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So quite a lot of campaign on the social media for Peter Obi. He's just come back from Egypt on a couple of few trip down to Egypt. Sowore is still pushing, just as a lot of people are saying maybe there should be what they can call the third force. All these smaller parties coming together. I'm just looking at 17 hours ago. Sowore, Nigerians, you have got one life to live. It didn't have to be this hard. You have come to eat without sugarcoating it. Your life could be better. We have never partaken in stealing your resources, never partook in deception, never stood in four corners at the same time. So it's literally still campaigning to millions of the Nigerians, to look the other way around from above the APC and the PDP, and then come towards, the AAC. So again, that is the message from Omo Yele Sowore some 17 hours ago. Also in Ekiti, APC monetized the gubernatorial election to the point that those that stayed away from their election playing street soccer probably felt they are the only ones who took the right decision. It is a shame. So as you can tell, the turnout was very low, during that election in Ekiti on Saturday. But a lot of Nigerians, when they go to those that are supporting, somebody like Peter Obi, there might be some match, which I believe would happen between Peter Obi and NNPP, but we will have to wait and see how that merger is going to happen. But for those that are following Peter Obi, let me just give you some of what they are saying. According to a very strong, staunch supporter of Peter Obi on the social media, known as Neferati at First Ladyship, Peter Obi flies economy all the time. He flew economy to Egypt, where he went to see how Nigeria can be better. He returned back on economy ticket. Guess what happened? Ordinary Nigerians stormed the airport to receive him. He did not stop commence of flow of traffic. And the reason why she's responding to that was we've seen videos of Bola Tinubu, the presidential aspirant for the APC, had to completely shut down Lagos for 3 hours, where individuals could not move at all. And that means that a lot of Nigerians have been asking the question, this is somebody that have not become the president, but he's been able to shut down the system. We're still on the social media because I'm going to take it all together. I'm looking at Ifa Funshaw graphics. High price of food, high price of fuel, high price of diesel, high price of electricity, high price of house rent, high price of water, high price of transport, high unemployment, no job, no security. ASU is on strike. Yoruba nation must stand in my time. Nigeria is worse than hellfire. So I'm going to take one more and then come back again. Let's look at, what are the Biafra saying? We know that Nnamdi Kanu is still, being held in the captivity of the DSS. A lot of people are saying that it seems, some of the Biafrans are already, relenting. Some are still pushing, for the, the self-determination. So let's take a look at what people have been talking about when it comes to Biafra. According to Nelson Spendy, have you seen Peter Obi condemning atrocity of massacring and discrediting Biafra land in my Nigerian foot soldiers? Yesterday, Peter Obi vehemently said that IPOB is ostracized in menacing going on in Biafra without making an investigation. Also, the mouthpiece at real_Amaka, we are not going back on Biafra. Why some believe in Nigeria politics? Our only hope is hang on total freedom of Biafra. But that doesn't mean we should be against whoever that believes otherwise. They will surely come when they reach the end of the zoo dark tunnel. So you can see that, the current situation in Nigeria is not just about those that still believe in Nigeria, it's also those about still want a total disintegration out of Nigeria. But all these we would have to know in how many days from now. Let's look at the Star Radio UK time check when it comes to whether an election will go ahead in 2023 or there will be a total declaration or a breakup of Nigeria before 2023. As today, 234 days, 13 hours, 20 minutes, and the seconds keeps going down. That would determine, the future of Nigeria. This morning, after a marathon 3 days prayer from the Yoruba self-determination group that put that together, I was able to listen to Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho at about 6 o'clock this morning. He joined the Zoom prayer, and also the leader of the Yoruba self-determination, Professor Banji Akintoye, also joined at about 6 o'clock in the morning to close the remark of that prayer, because the Yoruba believes that prayer would also be part of the fight for the self-determination as they continue their campaign for the actualization of the Yoruba nation.
Wow. Let me say kudos to them for joining. The momentum is there, but as whether the momentum in the southeast is dying down, it's another question that we want to see. Maybe Peter Obi being there trying to wrestle his way into the flag bearership of his party, or maybe becoming the next president will solve the problem of the country. Who knows? But well, Funke Funky Folarami says they have been selling 200 naira. He's talking about the fuel. No hope in this country at all. And Samuel Tayo, good afternoon, good morning to you. So God bless you, sir, for the work you are doing. Now, Walex says that as big as Nigeria, the youth are still thinking one person, which is a lie. Now, Samuel says Yoruba nation now. And what I say, as big as Nigeria, okay, the youth still believe the country called Nigeria can change by one person, which is a lie. Okay, it's going to clarify that, referring to Peter Obi. Now, he's of the view that even if you put Peter Obi there, that will not resolve the situation for Nigeria. But Yami, just a quick one from your side. Do you think Peter Obi can make a difference? I mean, who knows?
Well, looking at the argument on the table, from the perspective of whether he performed very well, while he was the governor of Anambra State, there's a lot of disagreement. I was actually listening to Soludo. Soludo is the current governor as well, and he was literally responding to some of what Peter Obi has been discussing lately when it comes to his achievement, in Nigeria, of today. And the question is, you asked is can Peter Obi make a change? The question is, can he make a change on the 1999 military decree that a lot of Nigerians have argued that it is not really, working, to that extent. When you also look at the way Nigeria is structured, we know that there is more, when you look at Lagos as an example, Lagos has 22 local government as against Kano that has 44. And, the question is the numbers of senators in the current Senate and the way the country has been structured, they are more than the ones in the southeast and the southwest, and that goes under the House of Rep. So if anybody's saying that Peter Obi will make a change, the question is they will be told to go into the Senate to get that change done, and that means the numbers of those on the seats are much more compared to the ones that we have. Maybe tomorrow I'll be able to give us a quick breakdown of the total number of how many senators do we have from the north as against the Southeast and the Southwest. And the same goes into the House of Reps. And then the clearer picture to some of our listeners that are not from Nigeria will be able to understand that you will not be able to change anything with the current system, the way it has been structured. And that is why, you know, the social cultural group like the Anfenifere, the Ohanize have said that we must bring down that constitution. And just like so many people have said, is one of the most fraudulent documents of the history of our time.
But somebody's just sent me a message that's personal to me. It's asking that last week when we interviewed Chief Mrs. Abiola, now she did mention referendum. Now, do you think that referendum could do that? Because you are looking at the constitution where you think until the constitution is changed, and you look at the representation from the north and from the south, which we know that the south are not actually, don't have the number to outwit the north. So if it comes to, let's have a new referendum for it to go through the Senate, for it to be passed into law, it is going to be a challenging thing. So do you think government offering referendum to the Yoruba people and maybe to those in the southeast will resolve the problem for you guys?
Well, the argument, from somebody like Mrs. Modukbola Onitiri Abiola is that a referendum is not going to take place, and it's not about the referendum. You know, if we are having a country where, you know, we are much more civilized, then you can push in a referendum. But the way again Nigeria is, there's no way a referendum, you know, could be the best option. And yes, there's still some part of people that believe in the Yoruba nation that believe that the referendum is the best push, you know, to get the Yoruba people out of Nigeria. The Biafra are still clamoring for a referendum, but what Chief Mrs. Onitiri Abiola and Professor Banji Akintoye are saying is, with the 5 million petition and that argument alone, that the Yoruba is a kingdom before the British amalgamation, and what we are asking for from the 110 countries that have been approached is not anything more than a recognition that this is a country of its own prior to the 1914 amalgamation. Yes, there's a lot of people that are worried that this might lead to a kind of proportion, maybe like a war, which a lot of people are much more concerned, and that is why people are saying that why not allow a referendum from the United Nations? And the argument again is United Nations gives country? No, United Nations just expect you to have 5 countries to support you, and that will be more than enough, to get you going.
But has Nigeria or the Eurobirds, have you got 5 countries that's supporting you? Have you got that number at the moment?
Well, with the 110 countries that have been approached, definitely as it stands right now, these countries are not coming out to speak, because we've got to remember they still have relationship with Nigeria. But I was able to speak to the deputy of the Ilana Omodua group yesterday afternoon, and I can guarantee that 3 countries that we cannot name has already given a full backing. Okay. But we can't name those countries yet.
Okay, we see what happens. Maybe during the course of this, we'll know the others that have joined in to give their full support to the Yoruba nation. Okay, before we go, listeners, we apologize because Yomi, we know that lots of you want us to ask lots of questions and discuss a lot of things, but we promise you tomorrow we're going to be looking at, and then at 18 hours tomorrow, there's going to be Niger Voices where we can go into details and all the questions that you might have. Okay, Yomi, before we go.
Well, the only place to be Monday to Friday is the morning show. Archie, myself, and Frank, and the rest of the team. I'll be back again same time tomorrow. But don't go anywhere, because Archie will take you through the rest of the segment. I'll be back again same time tomorrow at 11 o'clock. From this side of the globe, I say very good morning, good afternoon, and bye for now.
Yes, thank you very much, Yomi. All right then, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. I am Archie from Starr Radio UK, and we're bringing you the rest of the morning show. But hey, there is a song that this music that of late I've been enjoying, and I want to share with you. Now, whatever it is, whatever Nigeria wants, we need peace and stability. Okay, so that is very, very important. We don't want to see the situation where it's happening in Ukraine, where everything has been destroyed, and then we say, okay, are we now starting? How long is it going to take us to get to that particular place? But we want that peace of mind to be able to, whether the nation or the country has to be split, everybody go their way in peace, not in pieces. All right then, so we're going to be enjoying this song. But what I say is that Now my eyes are open, my ears can hear that the 1914 and the 1999 amalgamation constitution is a fraud. Okay. Alright, enjoy this song. It's a patriotic one from Nigeria. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you in a moment. Stay tuned.
Woke up to an eerie morning, the children playing. No sounds of greetings, one neighbor to another. Oh, it's quiet and gloomy. Peace don't live here no more. No more.
Can't believe how much we've hurt each other. Can't believe the damage we've done.
Brothers hurting brothers, neighbor harming neighbor.
Children grieving for their parents, hacked down before their time.
Oh, I can't go out, I don't know who to trust. Fear is just the other of the day.
Is peace the way we want to live?
With peace we don't have to grieve. When peace reigns, fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences, put an end to all the hate. With peace we don't have to grieve. When peace reigns, fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences, put an end to all the hate.
Oh, I know you were hurt. The blow you've been down, so yeah.
Cuts deep like a knife, but we mustn't pay it back in kind.
Leave no room in your heart for vengeance and hatred, no, no. And eye for an eye, so leaves everyone blind.
Hey, we have our differences, we cannot change things making war.
Without peace, all dreams are hold.
Without peace, there's no room to build. So much work to be done to make Nigeria the country of our dreams.
With peace, when peace reigns, fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences, put an end to all the hate. With peace we don't have to grieve. When peace reigns, fear goes out the door. Differences, put an end to all the hate. Wake up everybody, it's time to build a new day. Enough's enough, let's put the past behind us. It's only when there's peace that we can build a new Nigeria. Enough's enough, let's give peace a chance. Give it a chance.
Yes, give peace a chance in Nigeria.
Wake up,
Alex, Thumbs up to you as well. But a few people have still joined us as well. Let me just go to them, acknowledge them, and then we take a break and we come back and we continue with the show. On the YouTube, I've got Adejo K and Mokbai. It's love, and thumbs up. And Prince Abimbola, good morning from here, White Lion. Well, Alex says he likes that song, but Nigeria is no longer my country. River Nation now. I know, Alex. I want the break to come when there is peace and tranquility. Nobody going to destroy anybody's properties as it's been done in Ukraine at the moment. No. I don't want to see anything of the sort. Or what happened in the Biafran war. Well, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So don't you go away at all. Let's take a quick break. We come back and we look at some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. But like I announced earlier on during the course of the program, this afternoon BB Clement will be coming away with BB Means Business, and she will be looking at networking, how you can use networking to actually boost your work.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do that?
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match people. I have met my matchless Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Welcome back to the program, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Let me announce the lines open, and then we can move on to look at some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. You want to join in the conversation, call in. That means you can call us on 0208 133 2257 or 58, 0208 133 2257 or 58. Now, if you happen to be in the US, Canada, or the Caribbean area, it is 0017183032737, 0017183032737. You can also text or WhatsApp us. This is 07539661744, 07539661744. Our Twitter handle is at Starr Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. All right then. So get in touch. or you can post your comments on our Facebook page as others have done, or on the YouTube as well as others have done as well. As I announced earlier on this afternoon, as I did say, BB Clement is coming your way with BB Means Business, and she's having as a guest 3 astound men and women and men who are when it comes to networking, are gurus in there. You want to know how to use networking to boost your business? Yes. Then please make sure you join her on that program exactly at 1:30, when she'll be having various guests joining her on the program. All right then. So let's move on to some other stories making the round this morning across the globe, and starting from Ghana as well. Now, alleged coup trial truncated after accused person was rushed to hospital. The story says that the hearing of the case, in which some 10 persons are standing trial for their alleged involvement in an attempted coup, was truncated after Warrant Officer Class 2 Esther San, the 6th accused person, fell ill and started throwing up in court during proceedings. Now, lawyers of Johan Zikpi, the 4th accused person, led by lawyer Anthony Latte, was subjecting Chief Inspector Michael Nkrumah, the 14th and the last prosecution witness, to further cross-examination when the sitting was interrupted. Chief Inspector Nkrumah is an investigator in the case and is facing scrutiny from the defense lawyer. Now, Dr. Frederick Yao Malpam, the Chief Executive Officer of Sitada Hospital, Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Dr. Benjamin Agozo, and 8 others have all been charged. Now, while Dr. Malpam and 7 others, including WO2 Esther San, have pleaded not guilty to conspiracy and high treason, ACP Dr. Agozo and Colonel Kojo Gameli have also denied the charge of abetment. They have been admitted to bail and are standing trial. Okay. In court on Monday, further cross-examination was interrupted because the 6th accused person started throwing up and was taken to the court clinic. Now, the court warrant officer who took her to the clinic came back to inform the court that WO2 Esther San was throwing up because she took medicine on an empty stomach. Now, consequently, the 3-member panel of the High Court, presided over by Justice Efiasewa Asare Bochwe, adjourned proceedings to June the 22nd. According to the EIB, the network provided us with this information. Mr. Latte is expected to conclude his cross-examination in 40 minutes at the next sitting, as per the case management completion plan agreed on with the court. Now, the prosecution will be required to close its case when Mr. Latte ends his cross-examination of the witness. Now, while subjecting Chief Inspector Nkrumah to cross-examination, counsel suggested to him that he requested A4, that is Yvonne, my apologies, Johan Zikpi, to rewrite Exhibit AQ1, that's investigation caution statement dated the 21st of October 2019, for the sole purpose of incriminating A4, that's Zikpi, and A1, Dr. Mark Palm, and nothing else. But the investigator said that that was not true. The investigator told the court that he obtained the exhibit AQ caution statement and AQ1 immediately after the 4th accused A4 immediately after the interrogation. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 2 minutes past 12. Okay. Yes, let me say good afternoon to Salimata Bambara. Yes, you'll be part of the team or the guests on BB Means Business this afternoon. So make sure you are there. There's lots to be heard today. So don't you go away at all. Don't you go away at all. All right then. Now, moving on to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. Maybe let me see whether I can bring you one more from Ghana as well. Yes, so still coming from Ghana, as a friend said, Ghana, my happy home. So if you take your word to school and you hear the teachers teaching the child Ghana, my happy home, I bet the parents will be so upset. But I'll say, no, being patriotic is something that the country needs. We cannot be unpatriotic, do we? Okay. Now, Kwame Nkrumah takes Ghanaian dream to Tricom Basic School. Now, the old man himself there with his spade isn't mixing concrete or whatever he's doing. But do you think what is going to happen? Do you think we're going to be seeing Mahama being the flag bearer and Dufour, Dr. Dufour being the running mate? Is that what is going to be the situation there? It's going to be quite an interesting one. What do you think? All right then. Starr Radio UK. Now, when they talk about, I think last week, the fact that some were saying Dr. Otebel has resigned or stepped down from the cathedral, is it the secretariat or the committee? The National Cathedral Secretariat says Dr. Menson Otebel did not resign from the board of the National Cathedral, but excused himself at the point of the registering directors in 2019. A statement from the Secretariat reacting to issues in the media about the project said the founder of the International Central Gospel Church excused himself from the board but still offers his advice and support to the board. The board of trustees had to be registered as the directors of the company. A member of the trustees, Dr. Mensa Otebel, the general overseer of the International Central Gospel Church, had indicated that he couldn't give the needed attention to the project, so didn't register. So Dr. Mensa Otebel did not resign from the board as being alleged, but excused himself at the point of registration of the directors in July 2019. For the avoidance of all doubt, Dr. Otebel has not been a member of the board of trustees since July 2019. Dr. Mensa Otebel nonetheless remains actively interested in the project and continues to share his views on strategies with the Secretariat. The continuous use of his name and pictures on the website and publication was an administrative lapse by the Secretariat. So, okay, throwing a bit of light on that as well for us. I tell you, if it's making the round, I'll be bringing it. Now, following the procurement process approved by the Public Procurement Authority and with the input of the Attorney General, a contract was developed and signed between the Office of the President and Sir David Ajayi and Associates in August 2019 for full architectural and engineering service for the project. And it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, interestingly, one person has fallen out with the president. And who is that? No other person than Boakye Ejako. Now, the former Energy Minister Boakye Ejako says his relationship with President Akufo-Addo has broken down. According to him, the last time he spoke to the president directly was over a year ago, adding telephone conversation has been non-existent for some years now. In a quote, he said, "I don't have a relationship with him now. No, I don't. People get married for 30 years and they get divorced, don't they? Nah, not because of hatred," he told the journalist who was interviewing. He stressed that I will never let anybody bring me so low as to hate him. I don't hate anybody, but there comes a time when circumstances make it that you go your way, you have to move on. So I have moved on. Mr. Ejako was sacked from government after he was alleged to have misled the president into approving the new Ameri deal through executive order. The deal had earlier been rejected by Parliament. The innovation and amendment agreement was seeking to buy out the deal Ameri Energy had with the government of Ghana under President John Mahama and handed over to a third party, miscellaneous, for 15 years. Ghana would have ended up paying up to 1 billion Ghana cedis under the new arrangement. The Joint Committee on Finance and Energy of Parliament rejected the new deal because it had no signatures from the Attorney General and the Finance Minister. Well, well, interesting. Well, it says there is no more palace with the president. So, what's the next step and what can we do? COVID-19 expenses. Oferiata has no regard for Parliament. AB Hussein says the minority spokesperson on communications. AB Hussein says the consistent failure of the Minister of Finance Ken Oferiata to appear in Parliament to brief the House on COVID-19 expenditure means he disregards the House. All right. Well, we've spoken about that at length, and I will leave it until we see. Well, they said another date has been set, and we know that the legislature has said that until he appears to throw more light on the expenditure, they are not going to approve whatever bills or whatever that he has also presented to the legislature. Is that what it's going to be? And they are also trying to hold what the finances for the legislature. So who suffers when two elephants fight? The grass. The citizens, they are the ones who will be suffering here. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now it looks like the former president, John Kufuor, has thrown his weight, some sort of weight, behind the vice president. So the former president of Ghana, John Kufuor, has hailed Ghana's vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, describing him as a true son. According to the former president, Dr. Bawumia, who served as a deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana under his administration, has been a loyal son to him and his cause since he got to know him. Now, former President John Kufuor praised the head of the country's economic management team at a Father's Day event organized by the Peduase Valley Resort in the Eastern region. He said, "Let me single out one person. He is also a father, but I can claim that he happens to be my son too, and that is the vice president sitting right by me. In your narration, you said when the planners decided to invite the vice president, you learned he had gone to the north for some duties, and you even doubted whether he would manage to come. And lo and behold, he was there. So it made the former president very proud that he attended that event, and he called him that. So what is Alan Cash going to be when he appears or when the former president has to make a statement about him? Is he throwing his hat into the ring or supporting backing Bawumia instead of Alan Cash, who has been his son? Or is it got a son 10 times removed or 1 time removed? You know, that's what they say here. That's I get worried about. I don't get it. Okay. So it's all Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm bringing the time now to exactly 11 minutes past the top of the hour. And let's touch on this final story from Ghana, and then we'll move on to Kenya, where there are some serious issues making the rounds there. Now, the board of the Office of Special Prosecutor will be sworn into office today, Tuesday, June the 21. Now, it will be done by Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfrey Yeboah-Dami. The office has been without a board since the mandate of the previous one, led by Linda Oforio-Kwafo, expired. Now, this 9 months after Kise Jabin was officially sworn into office as the Special Prosecutor, civil society organizations in the country have since lamented the lack of the successive board and the impact on the operation of the Special Prosecutor. However, former Deputy Attorney General Joseph Dindiok Pemka assured that the governing body will be inaugurated soon. According to Section 5 and 6 of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Act 2017, Act 959, a board is required to formulate policies for the objective of the office, ensure proper and effective performance at the functions of the office, advise the Special Prosecutor on the recruitment and selection of various staff, among other duties. So that will be taking place today. And kudos to them. We'll see what advice they give to the Special Prosecutor, and as to whether we'll still 10 years or we'll be still looking at how to prosecute people, because maybe we've not got enough facts against them. Well, it is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, when it comes to Kenya, we know that the election is going to be taking place sometime, is it next month or August? Now, Azimio La Umoja president candidate, presidential that's his part. Azimio La Umoja presidential candidate Raila Odinga is the most preferred presidential candidate in Nairobi. A TFI research has said in poll results released today, Raila Odinga leads with 50%, while Deputy President William Ruto trails him at 25%. Now, Ruto's party George Wajakoya comes in third at 7%. However, 18% of those interviewed remain undecided on who to vote for. The poll shows gain in Raila's side compared to May, where he had 41% lead. Now, Ruto's side indicated a 1 percentage point drop compared to May, when he had 26%. The poll was conducted on June 20, 2022, where 632 respondents were who are all registered voters were interviewed. The interviews were conducted through the telephone. The poll has a margin error of plus or minus 3.8%. Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja, who is United Democratic Alliance candidate, is still the most preferred candidate for the Nairobi governor seat, with 40% of respondents supporting his bid. He's closely followed by Azimio La Umoja, one Kenyan flag bearer, Polycarp Igat, 32%. Now, regarding the gubernatorial and senatorial context, the former is now a much closer race than it was 2 months ago, with Senator John Stone Sakaja of UDA only slightly ahead of his main opponents, Jubilee's Polycarp Igata, 40% versus 32%. Now reads the poll. But still, they have tried to cut down the number of presidential aspirants, or especially in this contest. Now, only 4 Only 4 presidential hopefuls passed the test out of 18 aspirants shortlisted, down from the 54 who had expressed interest in the presidency. The 4 presidential aspirants include Deputy President William Ruto, Raila Odinga, George Wajakoya, and David Mawari Wahiga. This is the lowest number of presidential candidates in an election since the start of multi-party democracy in 1992. The advent of multi-democracy in 1992 has seen numerous Kenyans try their luck at becoming the country's president. Now, however, the 2022 general election remains a historic moment, since the country will witness the fewer number of presidential aspirants. Now, this is the independent electoral. This is after the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Dispute Resolution Committee dismissed attempts by 2 more aspirants to be included on the ballot box. Now, only ballot paper. My apologies. Only 4 presidential hopefuls passed the test out of the 18 aspirants shortlisted, down from the 54 who had expressed interest in the state house job. The 4 presidential aspirants include Deputy President William Ruto, United Democratic Alliance, Azimio La Umoja, One Kenyan Coalition Party candidate Raila Odinga, Roots Party leader George Wajakoya, and Agona Party David Mawure Wahiga. Would that bring about a different tie or turn when it comes to the votes? The 2 had been thrown out of the context over the lack of adequate voter signatures to support their respective bid. The Kigami's case, the committee dismissed arguments that the IEBC should have considered his visual impairment. That is because he's visually impaired, so he should be allowed to become the president, or he should not be whatever the rules of the law is, should be skilled for him. Now, this was 2 days after the committee upheld the disqualification of businessman Jimmy Wanjigi and ex-comedian Walter Mongari. Well, ex-comedian, maybe he should have tried. We have now comedians or people who are not politicians. Okay, they are not politicians. They are just, once who decide, oh, let's throw our hearts in, let's see what happens. Who have been able to win. Look at the president of Ukraine. Well, he was a comedian and an actor who managed to get a position after acting as a president, or a comedian who has become a president. Well, what do we see? Maybe he should be allowed, and the visual impaired person should be also given some opportunity. But what was it that actually disqualified them? We'll be following that, and would that actually help Kenya get the result that they need and the unity that is so much want for that part of the world? It's all Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, one final story from Kenya, and then we'll bring that update there to a close. Okay, I think the story. Okay, yes, I've got it. Let me bring that your way quickly, and then we'll move on from there. Last year, Acting Director General Public Health Patrick Amott said the government will start administering the COVID-19 vaccine in the first quarter of 2021. However, well, what is happening? Okay, I think the story is vanished from my system. Well, maybe that's all that they want me to know. Okay, well, it is 12:20 from the House of London. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's touch on one other story from the African front, or a couple of them, and then we will take a break. Well, I've lined up a very lovely tune, cover version of it, and I will let you know it. Now, suspected jihadis have massacred more than 130 civilians over the weekend in central Mali. The government announced the death on Monday after alarming social media reports talked of houses and huts being burnt and of abductions. Now, local officials described scenes of systematic killings by armed men in their Lazorgo and 2 surrounding towns in the Banka Circle, a hotbed of militant violence. Now, Nahum Togo, who lives in the main town in the area, managed to escape the killings. They came, in the quote, that's what he's saying. They said to the people, "You are not Muslims." In the Fulani language, they said, "You are not Muslim." So they took the men. 100 people went out with them at 2 kilometer. They systematically shot people. They left with others. The next day, we disclosed the mutilated bodies, said Nahum Togo, now president of the USR party and friends to victims. Now, since 2012, that Mali has been rocked by an insurgent by groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the so-called Islamic State group, plunging the country into crisis. Now, violence that began in the north has since spread to the center and neighboring Burkina Faso and Niger. Now, civilians are often subjected to the reprisals of jihadis who accuse them of collaborating with the enemy. Wow, what a tough time to be alive, and especially on the African continent. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, a final story from Tunisia. We've been trying to capture all developments making the rounds there. Algerian President Kais Saied received on Monday. My apologies, Algeria. On Monday, the first of draft of the new constitution under his own timeline. Said has until June 30 to approve or edit the draft constitution, less than a month ahead of the referendum planned for July 25th. The conditions for drafting the constitution were difficult because of the short time they had at their disposal. But we managed, thanks to everyone's effort, to submit this first version of the constitution. We hope that this will satisfy Mr. President Kai Said, said Sadok Belide, coordinator of the National Consultative Commission for a New Republic, charged with drafting a new document. The planned referendum marks 1 year since the power grab by Kai Said that saw him sack the government and suspended an elected parliament. The president wants to replace the current constitution, the product of a hard-won 2014 compromise between bitter political rivals, which enshrined a mixed parliamentary presidential system that often produced political deadlock. The revised constitution is at the center of Said's program for rebuilding Tunisia political system more than a decade after the revolution that sparked the Arab Spring uprising. Now, Islamist Party and other opposition parties were excluded from the Said National Dialogue and have fierce criticized his roadmap, accusing the president of wanting to impose a constitutional tailor-made for his own ambitions. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 12:24 the time. We're going to take a break, a musical break. And then once we come back, we will be looking at some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, okay, the advanced countries, and then we'll be looking at the UK as well. This strikes that is taking place, the rail strikes, how is it impacting you? I know a couple of people who are saying that they're working from home because of these strikes. But what do you think? Well, we'll be coming your way in the next few moments. Stay tuned. Survivor. Enjoy this, a cover version of Bob Marley's song.
How can you be sitting there saying that you could? Yes. When every time I look around, there people suffering. Yes, sir.
This is Starr Radio UK. In your car, at home,
on your smartphone.
Some people got everything. Some people got nothing. Some people got hopes and dreams. Some people got ways and means. We're the survivors. Yes, the black survivors. We're the survivors. Question yourself out the line. Survivors. So I print, I just print. Which way we choose? We better hurry, hurry. Because we got no time to lose. Some people got the plots and the schemes. Some people got the papers. Some people got the plots and the schemes. Some people got no aim it seems. We're the survivors. Yes, the black survivors. Yes, we're the survivors. Like Daniel and brothers are black survivors. So I print, I see sprint. We choose. Touch their father's time. Some people put the best outside. Some people put the best inside. Some people want to stay up strong. Some people want to wait for long. So we're the survivors. Like when the top, I wanna get up on.
This is Starr Radio UK.
So vibrant, life is sprint. We choose touch their father's pride. Some people put the best outside. Some people put the best inside. Some people want to stay up strong. Some people want to wait for long. So we're the survivors. Like when the top, I wanna get up on that. Survivors, wanna give it the proper thing. Survivors, that's when you're top, we give it survivors. We're the survivors. Survivors, hey.
You know, interestingly, those who are singing this cover version of Bob Marley's Survivor, they are all Caucasians. You know, they said we are the black survivors, and I think, how do you become a black survivor? But you know what? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. This is the only place where you can get anything of the sort happening, you know. Well, Caucasians are saying they are blacks, yeah? Alright then. And blacks are saying they are Caucasians. Alright then. It's 12:29 from the hearts of London, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So here with you, the one and only Archie. Making your day. But let me say a special happy birthday to Sister Sheila. All the way in Kent. And if you're celebrating your birthdays or anything of the sort today, I want to say a happy birthday or happy celebrations, whatever you might be. And God richly bless you. Hope you're having a lovely day. Okay, let's take a commercial break. We come back and we continue with the program. Stay tuned and don't you go away.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness. So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
All ladies, you are invited to our premier 13th annual Women's Conference, Lady to Lady Global Conference 2022. Theme, Joy. Date, Saturday, 30th July. Doors open at 11 a.m. Venue, Fairview's Concert Halls, the Phoenix Theater, Croydon, CR91DG3, United Kingdom. Register on www.ladytoladyglobalorg. Music Minister, CLC Healing Voices. Simeon. Queenie. Ada Ahi. Congratulations, I have seen the glory of God. Conference speakers, Reverend Betty King, Pastor Marjorie, Pastor Sandra.
I did come to Lady, and from that day onwards, my life has never been the same.
See you there.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactement 26 minutes to the top of the hour. The curtains will be brought down exactly at 1 o'clock because today we're having a special guest, a special program on BB Means Business by BB Clement. I've told you a few of the guests will be appearing there, so make sure your dials are so logged on Starr Radio UK, where everything will be on raving. Okay. Now let's move on straight to some of the other stories that is making the rounds this morning in other parts of the world as well. Now round erupts over blocked goods at Russian territory. That's one of the stories making the rounds. And Macron rejects Prime Minister's offer to resign. It's quite a worrying time for Macron. Well, that is what is happening in Europe as well. When it comes to the US, photos emerge of police during Uvalde shooting. Armed officers waited at Uvalde school for 58 minutes as a gunman was shooting people. That's what the media is saying. They were just standing at the entrance, the school corridor, pointing their guns but not entering. Were they not well equipped to enter there? Okay, the woman who could append U.S. abortion rights is one of the stories making the ways or the rounds. 5 ways U.S. rape rights will affect you. Okay, and Crash director arrested over alleged sexual assault. Those are some of the stories making the rounds. But let me bring you this one first, and then we continue with the story. In September 2021, Mississippi Chief Legal Officer sat down for an interview with Pro Life Weekly, a Catholic televised program featuring anti-abortion activists. Now, Lynn Fitch looked how she almost always does during public appearances: dyed blonde hair, blow dried straight and neat, tasteful jewelry, and monochrome suit. This time in powder blue. The Attorney General was there to celebrate the United States Supreme Court had just announced the date it will hear her state's challenge to Roe versus Wade, the 1973 ruling that has, for nearly 50 years since, served as a nationwide guarantee to abortion access. Now, the case dubs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization centers on Mississippi law that will ban abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy, even in cases of rape and or incest. Now, under Ms. Fitch's direction, the state asked the Supreme Court to uphold the law and slash the landmark Roe versus Wade decision in the process. A ruling is expected this month. A leaked draft suggests it is likely the Mississippi's ban will be upheld, paving the way for other states to also outlaw abortion. And I said, well, thumbs up. I really love that. Yeah, we have to protect the unprotected, or the ones who have not got the right to protect themselves. We have to be there for them, okay? But when these same ones are birthed and they go to schools, and then we have the situation where in their schools we have somebody like the story that I just picked up a moment ago, where a gunman goes rampaging, killing these ones again, and we say put a law in place to stop that, and we say no, we can't do that. Well, information coming through says the first image is showing armed police waiting in the corridor during last month's school shooting over the Texas has emerged. Officers arrived early in the attack and with no more powerful weapons than previously reported, according to U.S. media who have seen investigative documents. Now, police have been accused of failing to act quickly enough to stop the attack. 21 people, including 19 children, died in the shooting. Now, Texas police have not publicly commented on the reports from the Austin American statement, but more details of the 24th of May shooting at the Robb Elementary School classroom are expected to be presented at a public hearing in the Texas Senate later on Tuesday. That attack by an 18-year-old local identified as Salvador Ramos has led to renewed national debate about gun regulation. Now, who is going to stand for that? Who is going to push the agenda for that? We want to protect the ones who are unborn. Yes, we have to make that. Okay? But when they are born as well, do we go all out to protect them? Or there, because of the money that we're going to be making, we decide, okay, let's forget about that. What is good for the goose is good for the ganders as well. Well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's move on to other stories. Ex-dam boss jailed for ordering activists murder. The story says that a court in Honduras has sentenced a former energy executive to more than 22 years in jail over the murder of an environmental activist in 2016. Berta Cáceres led protests against Aguazaca hydroelectric dam project before being shot dead in her home. The court ruled that Roberto David Castillo, whose company had been awarded the contract, had planned the murder and hired the gunmen. Now, 7 others have been convicted for their role in the killing. Now, Castillo is a former president of Honduran power company, DESA, and was once an army intelligence officer. Interesting. The court found he used his military contacts and paid informants to coordinate and plan the murder of the high-profile activist who was awarded the prestigious Goldman Prize in 2015 for a role in stopping the building of the dam. Now, Cáceres had faced years of threats over his opposition to the dam project, now which was being run by Castillo's company. The dam would have flooded large areas of land and cut off the supply of water, food, and medicine for hundreds of indigenous Lenca people in the western Honduras. Coming away from the Caribbean area or the Latin American area, well, it's all Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's fly to Europe. The French President Emmanuel Macron has rejected the resignation offer from the Prime Minister he appointed, saying instead that the government must stay on task and act. Elizabeth Borne was criticized by some commentators after Mr. Macron's coalition lost its majority on Sunday. Her future looked under threat after the result, which left the president needing to secure support from rivals. He is set to meet his political opponents for rare talks on Tuesday, but neither Marine Le Pen's far right nor Jean-Luc Mélenchon's left-green alliance are keen to work with Mr. Macron's centrist government, which is 44 seats shy of a majority and desperately trying to avoid political paralysis. The elite palace said Ms. Borne formally offered to resign on Tuesday morning, submitting a letter to Mr. Macron, the head of state, who turned it down. Now, Mr. Macron refused the offer so that the government can remain on task and act. The elite palace said, adding that he will seek constructive solutions to ending the deadlock that threatens his agenda during his second term. It is customary for the French Prime Minister to offer to resign following a parliamentary election. Often the president will simply reappoint the same person so that he or she can begin constructing a new government. But the situation is different this time, as Mr. Macron is telling Ms. Borne to stay in office with the same cabinet without resigning. It is probably an effort to buy time, analysts suggest, adding that at some point a new government will be formed which may or may not have Ms. Borne at its head. Now, meanwhile, party representatives will visit the Elise Palace for high-level talks on Tuesday and Wednesday. Analysts say the president may be eyeing a deal with the right-wing Republicans. The party confirmed that its leader, Christian Jacob, will attend the talks, but prospects of a deal appear dim in the run-up to the talks, as Mr. Jacob hit out at Mr. Macron in an interview with France Inter Radio. He is the one who's been arrogant, and now he calls for help, he said. Now, we are very clear on our stance. We are in the opposition to Emmanuel Macron and will remain there, he added. Now, Ms. Le Pen will talk or will take part, but Mr. Mélenchon will not. The AFP news agency has reported Socialist Party leader Olivier Faure and Communist Party boss Fabien Roussel, members of the NUPS left-wing party alliance, will also meet Mr. Macron. So how is it going to pan out for him? I think apart from Macron's party ensemble, the noobs are the ones who have got majority. Okay, lots of people. Okay, representatives. So the noobs have 131. Other left parties have got 22. Ensemble has got 245. Republicans UDI 64 and National Rally 89. And all others have got 26. So, what is it going to be for him? Is it the end of Macron? Are they going to give him that stalemate where nothing can be done for the nation? And how will it pan out for France as a whole? And when it comes to geopolitics as well, what will pan out for them? Especially looking at the war in Ukraine at the moment, where we have the president moving to and fro, trying to broker a bit of peace in the beginning, and also trying to see how best to support Ukraine at the moment. What do you think is going to happen there? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, one other story from Europe before we go to the UK, or we come to the UK. Now, Oscar-winning director Paul Haggis has been arrested in southern Italy on suspicion of aggravated sexual assault. Now, Italian news agencies have reported. Now, Brindisi prosecutors said he was also accused of aggravated personal injury and crimes committed to the prejudice of a young foreign woman. The ANSA and the AGI, that's ANSA and the AGI agencies, also report Mr. Haggis has been has denied the allegation via his lawyer, Michel Laforgia. Now, information says Mr. Hagia's representative and the prosecutors now make inquiries as soon as possible. I'm totally innocent, the Canadian filmmaker said, according to the agencies who quoted Laforgia. Now, another lawyer representing Mr. Haggis, Priya Chaudhry, issued a statement to various outlets, including Variety, saying the director was totally innocent. Well, so why didn't they hide his identity, but rather expose it when they've not got any facts against him there? Well, he's been charged for that, accused. He's been accused of that, okay, alleged sexual assault. So we'll see what happens on that front. But well, it is Starr Radio UK. Another one happening there. Now let's come to the UK, where I said today, Thursday, and Saturday there is a strike that is going on, and we're looking at the repercussion for the country as a whole. And if you are listening to us and today you were supposed to have gone to the office but you couldn't go, or go to the workplace and you couldn't go because of the strike, and those of you who are going to be walking or cycling, maybe if it's a walking distance, why not? And those of us who don't know how to cycle, who don't like cycling, okay, what is the way forward for them? Okay, now information coming through says that the first of 3 national rail strikes this week is disrupting the journeys of millions of commuters across England, Scotland and Wales. Only 20% of trains are running after staff walked off the job at midnight. Now many areas have no trains at all. Network Rail boss said he is profoundly sorry for the disruption, but Prime Minister Boris Johnson argues is urging passengers to stay the course because the proposed reforms are in their interest. The action by members of the RMT union is overpay and redundancies. 2 more strikes are planned for Thursday and Saturday. Now, some Labour MPs have joined the picket line in support, ignoring calls from the party leadership to stay clear. Now, London Underground workers have also gone on strike in a separate dispute over pensions and job losses. So when the coincidence coincides, is that the miracle there? Okay, but when it comes to the whole issue as well, now some are calling for Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, to scrap the congestion charge and stuff like that for this period, call it this week, so that people can go about their duties. The mayor of London described the tube and rail strike as incredibly frustrating and says he hopes the unions, Transport for London, TfL, Rail and government resolve their differences in an amicable way. Nobody wants strikes, Sadiq Khan said. It's a business. Businesses don't want strikes. Londoners don't want strikes. He confirmed TfL will be meeting with the RMT union again after these strikes. I cycled into work today and I saw the traffic on the roads, and just imagine how difficult it is for fire engines, buses, ambulances, Khan said. Now he says if the congestion charge and the ultra low emission zone had been suspended to make using the roads easier, London would have come to a standstill. So it's not going to budge. The buses, emergency services, the plumbers, the electricians will be in more traffic today. So it is really important to leave the roads for those who need to be driving, the mayor has said. So if you are not going to cycle and you want to drive, you have to pay for the congestion charge, the ULEZ and everything. Yeah. Well, people are being advised not to travel today because of the strikes. But if you've already bought a ticket, what right do you have? Let me bring you that advice. The Rail Delivery Group, which represents train operators, said if we cannot provide a service for customers due to strike action, then we will refund customers. The National Rail has published guidance covering different scenarios and ticket types. Now, if your train is cancelled, delayed or rescheduled, National Rail says you are entitled to a refund from the retailer you bought the ticket from. If you have a ticket for one of the strike days, you can use it the day before or until Tuesday of the following week. Now, season tickets holders who choose not to travel on strike days can claim compensation for those days. People are being advised to check with operators about switching to other routes to avoid disruption. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One final story, then we call it a day to prepare the grounds for BB Clement. Now, this is a story relating to that same strike, but this is from the Prime Minister. Boris Johnson has said commuters must stay the course during the rail strike as he urged rail bosses and unions to agree on a deal. The Prime Minister, speaking to the cabinet, said strikes were causing significant disruption. Now, union RMT has called the strikes over 3 days due to aggressive cuts to jobs, conditions, pay, and pensions. But the other time, was it yesterday, I was talking about the fact that, look, back in the day, I remember we hop on the bus and you have the conductor there, okay? Like he checks your tickets, and then we had the case where you have to pay, and then the driver will have to, if you have cash, and then the driver has to go through all this and then give you the ticket, print the ticket out and give it to you, and blah 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 blah. Now things have modernized. We've come a very long way from thence, and this is a time where a whole train can just be driven or be operated by one person. So we want to talk about modernization when it comes to technology and all that stuff. And the same thing is coming to bite us. Now, how do we deal with it? Should the companies, just continue to keep people on when you know that, look, I can just get one machine that instead of 3 people operating it, maybe 2 people will operate it, or 1 person can operate it, and the 2 can go, and then at least I can get my money or my profit that I want to make. So what is the way forward? This umpires, because the businesses are not charities, are they? They are not charities, and therefore they invest their monies to make profit. So do you think that national rails should be nationalized? The rails should be nationalized, or should it be left in the hands of these companies who are running this? And it should be left in their hands. Then why shouldn't they be the ones seen to address the issues when it comes to redundancies and job losses and all that stuff? Why should government come in there? Do they want government to step in for government to throw some more money in there? Well, there is a lot more we're going to be looking at as the days unfold. But the strikes are set to cause this widespread disruption to millions of commuters across England, Wales, and Scotland. Passengers are being advised not to travel unless it is essential, as around 40,000 members of the Rail, Maritime and Transport, that RMT union at Network Rail, and 13 train operators have walked out. Only 20% of trains are running after staff walked out at midnight, and many areas have no trains at all. Trains do not run. Trains that do run are starting later and finishing much earlier than usual, operating between 07:30 to 18:30 hours. Strikes are set to continue on Thursday and Saturday. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, one story, and then we bring the program to a close. The death of a man who was decapitated in a betting shop would not have occurred if his attacker had been referred to mental health services the month before a coroner has concluded. Khalid Yusuf, 28, was killed by Hassan Mustafa at Paddy Power in Handsworth, Birmingham on the 4th of January 2018. Coroner James Bennett said the attacker was severely mentally ill and was acting upon his delusional beliefs. Mr. Bennett said a previous arrest should have led to a referral. Now, Mr. Yusuf from Sudan suffered numerous injuries in the sustained assault by his friend. An inquest at Birmingham and Solihull Coroner's Court head on Friday. The attack happened when the killer, then 35, visited the premises during the afternoon with 4 knives. Now, Mustafa was detained under the Mental Health Act within 24 hours and was severely delusional, believing they were shifting and superheroes in a competition to find treasure at the behest of the Queen, the court was told. Interesting. He was really messed up there. The attack happened when the killer, then 35, visited the premises. Now, Mustafa was detained under the Mental Health Act within 24 hours and was severely delusional. Now, he goes on, having followed Mr. Yusuf, the inquest head, he decided to end the devil. He was disorganized with paranoid schizophrenia, and that was said to have responded well to medication. Mustafa stood trial for murder in 2018 and was found not guilty by reason of insanity and made subject to a hospital order. Well, a sad one. The one who lost his life has lost his life, but it's a difficult one. When do you apprehend somebody? Not apprehend, but take the right from the person's hands, or subject the person to a thorough health investigation, Mental Health Act. And detained under that. Why didn't they do that? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. A sad note to end on, but hey, as I've said, this afternoon exactly at 1:30, it's all happening live on Starr Radio UK. What is happening live? BB Clement on BB Means Business. So make a date. Don't you go away at all. I'm going to bring you some music and then we'll take a break. And once we come back later at 1:30, BB Clement will be coming your way. So on that note, let me say thank you once again for joining us. But if you are a freedom fighter, let me put it that way, somebody who is still surviving, struggling with all the odds against you, and you're still making it some way, somehow, then this music goes to you. A cover version of Bob Marley's Survivor. When that song ends and you don't hear from me, then it's with me, your one and only Archie, saying have a top of the day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye bye for now.
How can you be so tender? Tell me. a survivor.